Alright guys, I am back with another horror room movie review, and this is The Hills Have Eyes from 2006. This is a remake of the original movie. It was produced by Wes Craven, so he was involved with this whole thing. And I never watched this movie before, and after seeing it, I have to say, I thought it was pretty good. Makeup effects were great. Stayed true to the original for the most part. There were a few differences and some stuff kind of dragged on, but that was because they added more action to the movie, and I was fine with all that. I thought they did a great job with this. I don't see why fans of the original would have a problem with it. And it was a pretty brutal horror movie. Anyways, the budget was $15 million, made back $69 million, so it was a successful movie. And it was kind of long. I mean, it was almost 2 hours, but at the beginning it says between 1945 and 1965 the government performed 331 nuclear tests but deny the genetic effects caused by the radioactive fallout. So it shows the New Mexico desert, and 4 guys in protective suits are testing the radiation levels when a bloody man runs up to him asking for help. And then all of a sudden a cannibal jumps out, I think it was Pluto, and kills them all with a pickaxe and then drags their bodies back behind his truck. And then we get the opening credits, which show a bunch of atomic bombs going off and deformed people. We see the gas station owner, and he hears Ruby running around outside, so he goes out to find her with a shotgun, and he can't find her. And when he gets back to the gas station, there's a black bag in front of the door, and he just says, "I want out." And they never really explain in this movie that he's the father of the cannibals. He's the father of Papa Jupe. I think that was in the original. May have been the sequel. No, it had to be the original, but he's related to the cannibals, and they never really say it, but it is heavily implied. So he just says, "I want out." And he takes the bag inside, and there's a severed ear and some stuff from victims. And then the Carter family shows up. And they tell the gas station owner they're going to San Diego, and the family's all here. You got Bob, Ethel, their kids, Bobby, Brenda, and Lynn, Lynn's husband, Doug, and their baby. And I was happy to see they also had the dogs, Beauty and Beast, here. So Bobby is played by that kid from Cougar Town. I can't remember his name, but he's the son. And then Brenda is Claire from Lost. Doug is Pyro from the X-Men. And Bob is Ted Levine, who played Buffalo Bill. And he's also the voice of the killer in Joyride, the candy cane guy. So the acting was really good in this movie. So they head through the desert, and they run across a spike strip, which causes the truck to wreck. And they can't get a signal on the cell phones. They don't think they can reach anybody on the CB. So Bob decides to walk. So he gives Bobby a gun, he takes a revolver, and he's going to walk back to the gas station while Doug goes in the other direction to see where the road leads to. So Beauty runs off, and Bobby chases after her, and he knows something weird's going on, and he hears something attack the dog. So he runs up and finds her, and the dog's been cut open, obviously by a human. So he runs back to the RV, and he falls off a rock and gets knocked out. Doug finds a place full of cars, just tons of cars, same thing you see in the Texas Chainsaw series and the Wrong Turn series, just a place full of victims' cars, but he doesn't really think anything of this. And at night, Bob finally makes it to the gas station, but no one answers, so he goes inside, he finds the severed ear, he finds a bunch of newspaper clippings about the nuclear testing, and he runs out of the gas station. He sees a car, he tries to get it to start, and then he hears the gas station owner. And the owner's saying something like, "I did everything I could," and he's got his shotgun, and he blows his brains out. And this was a really gruesome scene here. So Bob's freaking out. He hears all these voices surrounding him saying, "Daddy, Daddy." He gets back in the car, and there's a cannibal in the back seat. I think it was Papa Jupe. And he grabs his head and just smashes it into the windows repeatedly and just knocks him out, and then he gets dragged back to the lair. So Brenda finds Bobby, who apparently Ruby's been staring at for hours. So Ruby runs and hides, and Brenda takes Bobby back to the RV, and they fix him up, and they tell him about the CB, how they got a signal, and they heard someone, and it was just heavy breathing, like an obscene phone call. They didn't actually show that scene in this movie like they did in the original, but they talked about it. So now Bobby really knows something's up. But he doesn't say anything. He doesn't want to freak the others out. So Beast breaks his chain and runs off into the desert. Doug shows back up, and Bobby tries to tell Doug what's going on, but Doug's like, I'm tired, I just want to go to sleep. He doesn't even mention Bobby's face or ask him what happened. I mean, the guy's got a huge bruise on his eye, and Doug just is oblivious to this. So Bobby hears Beast outside, and he goes to look for him. And right around here, the next 20 minutes or so are extremely disturbing. Easily the most disturbing part of this entire movie. So Bobby's outside looking for Beast, and he realizes it's a person imitating a dog, which would be really creepy in the middle of the desert. So he runs back, and he tells Doug and Lynn what's going on. He tells them everything. And we see Pluto's snuck inside the RV, and he's trying to rape Brenda. And he uses his walkie-talkie and says, "Do it now." And an explosion goes off in the desert. So the others run to see what's going on, and it's Bob being burned alive. So while they're distracted by this and trying to put the fire out, Lizard shows up. They did change some of the names around. Instead of Mercury and Mars, it's Lizard and Google, of all things. So Lizard shows up, and he kicks Pluto off of Brenda, and then he rapes her. And Lynn runs back to the RV, and Lizard threatens to shoot her baby if she tries anything. So Ethel runs back to the RV with a rock to attack the cannibals, and she gets shot in the stomach. Lynn stabs Lizard in the leg. He shoots her in the head. He drags Brenda outside, and he's about to shoot her, but he's out of bullets. So Pluto and Lizard just take the baby and run off as Doug and Bobby show back up. Very intense scene. We see Beast up on the cliffs. He finds Google, rips his throat out, kills him, and then he brings his walkie-talkie back to the others. And they pick up the walkie-talkie, and they hear the cannibals talking about how they're going to kill them all. So in the morning, Doug and Beast head up into the hills. He's got a baseball bat with him, and he finds the entrance to the mines. So he goes through the mines, and he comes out, and there's a town, like an old nuke town, with the dummies and everything set up. And he's going through, and he sees one of the houses has a generator. And he sees his baby inside, so he leaves Beast in this car, and he goes in the house, and he sees the baby, and he sees Big Mom watching divorce court. So he's creeping by her, and he gets the baby, and he turns to leave, and then Big Mom comes out of nowhere and knocks him out. And Big Mom never dies in these movies. I was just thinking about that. That's kind of strange, but yeah, nothing happens to Big Mom. So Doug wakes up in this freezer thing, and he's surrounded by body parts. So he freaks out, and he breaks his way out, and he sees his baseball bat, which they conveniently left there for him. So he's got the bat back, and he hears a cannibal singing the national anthem, and it's Big Head. Now this guy is really deformed. I mean, he's got this big tumor thing coming off the back of his head, and he's confined to a wheelchair. And he tells Doug that his people made them who they are with their bombs. And Doug gets ready to hit him when Pluto breaks in. We see Beast tunnel out of the car, and he runs and attacks Pluto. So Doug runs into another room, boards the door, and he's waiting for Pluto. And then Pluto just breaks through the wall, Leatherface style, and he cuts the bat in half with an axe. So Doug takes the other half of the bat, and he stabs Pluto in the stomach with it, Pluto just rips this thing out and bitch slaps him with the other end of the bat. So he's throwing Doug around, just beating the crap out of him. He cuts off 2 of his fingers with the axe. He gets ready to kill him. Big Head is laughing about all of this. And then Doug pulls out an ice pick and stabs it in his foot. He grabs an American flag and stabs it through his neck and then hits Pluto in the head with the axe. So he completely kills him here. This was badass. And then Doug leaves and he kills another cannibal with the axe and takes his shotgun. So he didn't kill Big Head, which I thought was kind of disappointing. Maybe he just felt like this guy's too deformed, it's not worth my time. But still, so Big Head picks up a radio and he tells Lizard to kill the baby. And he's laughing, and then he sees Beast. And we hear Beast tear Big Head apart. This was awesome stuff here because Big Head was a big dick. He really was. So Lizard goes to kill the baby, but Ruby takes the baby and heads up into the cliffs. Bobby runs into Papa Jupe back at the RV, and Papa Jupe chases him, and Bobby's got a trap set at the RV. And Papa Jupe actually looks relatively normal compared to the others, but they blow him up with the RV, so he really didn't get a lot of screen time in this movie. And Doug catches Ruby. He gets attacked by Lizard, who just beats the crap out of him with this spike belt thing. Knocks him out. So Doug is laying here, and at this point Doug has been through hell. I mean, he's been through a lot. And he looks at his hand with the missing fingers and he still sees his wedding ring. So he wills himself to go on. This was very cool. And he grabs the shotgun and he catches Lizard and beats the crap out of him with this gun. Ruby gives him his baby, and then Lizard gets back up and he goes for the gun, and Ruby runs and tackles him, and they both go off the cliff and die. So Bobby and Brenda see Jupiter still alive, and Brenda crushes his head with a pickaxe. And then they see Doug, the baby, and Beast, and they all hug, and then we see someone's watching them through binoculars. So that's how the movie ended. And I really did like this movie a lot. It was pretty entertaining. And there is a lot of brutal stuff in this one. The original wasn't nearly as bad. I mean, it had some disturbing stuff, but it was also kind of cheesy, so it was more of a funny movie at times, with some of the outfits and things they would say. But this one, they definitely turned it up for this one, because there was a lot of intense moments. Bob burning alive. That entire segment there with the Pluto and Lizard and Lynn and Brenda and everything. But yeah, just a really graphic movie. So I would definitely recommend this one if you're a big fan of horror movies. Not necessarily have to be a Hills Have Eyes fan to enjoy this one. This one was just a really good movie. So anyways, that's my review of the Hills Have Eyes 2006 movie. I'll be back shortly with my review of the sequel from 2007. So hope you guys liked the video. Leave your thoughts on this movie in the comments, and thanks for watching.